Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully y'all are feeling loved and blessed as always, getting something from this content. And if you are, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment on these videos, see what else. I want to see what else people want to hear about, um, things like that. So let's grow together, be guided together as we go through the word and everything like that. So yeah, appreciate y'all for tapping in with me, man. I appreciate the support. Let's go ahead and get to the next episode. Yo, what is good, everybody, man? Welcome back to another Kids Room Podcast episode. And today we're going to be still getting into the word again. The last four chapters, there was a lot of wisdom and knowledge talk, right? So it was a lot of, keep your eyes on the Lord, focus on Him if you want to be wise and get everything because it takes sacrifice and things like that. That was a previous few videos. But today it's going to be more of a twist that is in Proverbs. This is going to be more of a discipline message on today. And we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 5, verses 11 through 15. And before we get into the word, of course, we got to talk about something from the beginning, right? So regret comes usually whenever we're not disciplined or whenever we probably didn't listen to someone or their wisdom or knowledge, or maybe you weren't as knowledgeable about something. And sometimes we can be arrogant or ignorant, and sometimes that can actually ruin our chances on opportunities and success at times. So in this scripture, right, you have to just read it out of context, but this is why I only read a few verses and not the whole chapter, because I want people to read the whole chapter and put it into context on their own, right? So verses 11 through 15, it goes on to say, at the end of your life, you will groan when your flesh and body are spent. You will say, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. I would not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors, and I was soon in serious trouble. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. So at the end, you will groan in life. So like that's the regret, right? That's the you ignore the discipline, you ignore the wisdom, you ignore the knowledge. You went through all those things, and then when the test or the challenge came up, and you probably needed those lessons, right? Or you needed to listen to something you didn't. Now you got to learn a harder lesson. And sometimes when we have to learn hard lessons, we don't always want to finish through with those lessons, right? We go through things and then we give up. But if we would have maybe listened the first time from something, and sometimes you cannot avoid things because, sometimes things are just first times. That's not what I'm going after. I'm going after the things that whenever you didn't listen, right? You weren't disciplined and you knew better, but you did not do better, right? So at the end of your life, you are grown. Proverbs is reminding us that discipline isn't God restricting you, but it's God protecting you. So the discipline is protecting you, right? How I hated discipline, how I would not obey. This is looking back, right? This is to me someone looking back and saying, I should have listened, I should have did this, I should have did that. Whenever you had the chance and the ability, and when effort and those things are free, right? Discipline is free. Making the right decision that don't cost you no money, right? But whenever you don't listen, sometimes, or you don't have discipline, it costs you money, pain, emotion, time. So we have to watch out for those things, right? In verse 15, it goes on to say, drink water from your own well. So it's relying on what God gave you. So when God has given us resources and gifts, right, that we didn't have to pay for, but Christ paid for, Jesus paid for by dying on the cross for us, um, that means we have to stop comparing, because comparison is the thief of joy, right? So if you know that, then you comparing your car to somebody else's car really makes no sense, because they're both cars. They both get you to point A to point B, right? If you take care of your car, right, versus you have a Honda versus someone that has a Porsche and doesn't take care of their car and it's dirty, right? That's not very likely, because most people that have nice cars take care of their things. But you don't know what car they had before. You don't know what they had to go through to get that car or anything like that. So same thing with people's relationships. Some people say they look at someone else's relationship and get jealous, but those people might have had time. They might have went through things that they had to really hang on to and then fight with each other and then maybe had arguments, had downfalls, but then still had discipline with each other, with themselves, and grew from it. So you cannot look at someone else's gifts. You have to rely on your own gifts, your own calling, and your own purpose, right? This passage, right? This is a foreshadow of what life can be if you do not become disciplined, if you not watch out what you say and what you think and how you do things. If you do not pay attention, then your life can be regret. It can be lack of discipline. It could be missing out on opportunities and things because you did not listen. Two ears to listen, one mouth to speak. So you're supposed to listen twice as much as what you speak, right? Think even more than that because you have to think before you even talk. Really, you have to think before you even act. So think even more as you listen. You are thinking, you are comprehending those things. So today, right? Ask yourself, what are you not being disciplined in? What are you not focused in? What are you trying to be pulled away in 10 different directions? Focus on one thing, right? So what do you really need to listen to? If you know that you lack in something, then you probably need to listen to more videos or read more stuff like that. Ask people about things like that to learn, right? So in order to stay in your lane, you got to stay disciplined, stay committed, and then get what God gave you. So if God gave you a gift, get from that, use it to the most of your ability because your gift will make room for you, as it says in the word as well. So to avoid regret, we have to do a little bit more effort in obtaining and absorbing rather than secreting and like releasing stuff like that. So the more you take in is sometimes a lot of time and pain and emotion that can save you because you have learned, or you're going to use wisdom and knowledge from the previous chapters and then apply it to this one and see how far that gets you, right? So that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure you avoid regret, stay disciplined, and drink from your own well. And I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me on this one. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.